Pneumatic comparator, so it works generally. The common pneumatic comparator used is the Solex comparator. Okay, so we will discuss how the Solex comparator or how the pneumatic comparators work in the upcoming slides. Okay, before going to that, we will discuss what is the principle of the pneumatic comparator. Okay, so the change in pressure between the nozzle and workpiece is utilized to measure the deviation of the dimension being measured from the standard dimension. Okay, we already know why comparators are used. Okay, comparator is only, or the job of the comparator is to compare only. Okay, so there is one standard dimension given to you. Okay, one product or one standard dimension product will be given to you. Okay, and the replica of the original product that you have to manufacture. Okay, and basically what happens on the shop floor is the laborers that may be or may not be skilled in order to take readings of the workpiece. Okay, sometimes what happens, the laborers working in the or working on the shop floor, they they may be educated or they may not be educated. Okay, so some workers, they are able to take out the readings, or they are able to handle the instruments. For example, vernier caliper is there. Okay, generally the dimensions, diameter, or you can say radius or length of the some parts. Okay, that you should take into account. Okay, but some laborers are not familiar with the instruments. For example, vernier calipers are there, then micrometers are there. Okay, they don't know how to use this vernier calipers, or how to find out the least count, how much is the exact reading shown by that vernier caliper. Okay, they don't know. So to make that work very much, you can say, to get the final or quality output of the quality output from the batch. Okay, we will have to employ, or we will have to manufacture such a machine which will give the exact readings. Or you can just by observing the scales on the comparator, you can exactly say the dimensions of the two, the standard one and the produced one. Okay, the dimensions of the two products are exactly same. Okay, so for that purpose comparators are manufactured. Okay, so that's why the comparators are uh, in the industry. Okay, so generally the standard dimension product, or we will say this standard dimension product means the original product, and the replicas of the original products have, or that replicas that we want to manufacture on the shop floor. Okay, so to get the exact dimensions as that of the original product, we will have to employ the comparators. Okay, another use of comparator, firstly I have told that anyone or any skilled or unskilled laborer can uh, use this comparator. Okay, then another use of the comparator, it will reduce your time to take the readings. Okay, generally vernier calipers are employed. For example, let us consider we want to measure the diameter of a circular bar. Okay, so we will have some vernier calipers. Okay, we will uh, take that vernier caliper, we will take the job in the other hand, okay, and we will try to fix that vernier caliper around the outer diameter of the that workpiece, okay, or that circular or round bar, okay. So in this case what happens, sometimes the workers hands are not proper, or the workpiece, sometimes workpiece will have some grease on it, okay, sometimes coolant will be there if we take the workpiece from the machine itself, okay. So in that case what happens, sometimes burr is on the workpiece, okay. So because of that what happens, we will have to carefully measure the diameter of that workpiece, okay. And in order to do so, very much time is required, okay. And to reduce this time, we can employ the comparators, okay. The use of the comparator is to reduce the time that we are wasting in order to find out the exact readings, okay. So just by comparing the original product and the product that we have manufactured, we can, just by comparing it, we can tell if the product is up to the point or some other machining has to be done on it, okay. So that's why the comparators are used, okay. So this is the principle of the pneumatic comparator. So what happens in this pneumatic comparator, so pressure between the nozzle and workpiece is utilized to measure the deviation of the dimension being measured from the standard dimension. So standard dimension is there, okay, and another part that you have manufactured, that you have to compare with the pneumatic comparator. And the pneumatic comparator, what happens, so the change in the pressure between the nozzle and workpiece, okay, that we have to utilize, okay. If some deviation, or to measure the deviation in the dimension being measured, okay, suppose if some deviation is there while comparing the actual product or the manufactured product, okay. So consider that some machining or another machining or another process that you should perform on your workpiece, okay. If the comparator is showing some readings and exact same showing some readings on the original part, and exact same readings are shown on the manufactured part, there is no deviation shown by the comparator on the manufactured part, then you can easily say the dimensions of the manufactured part and the dimensions of the original part are same, okay. So that is the principle. So it generally works on the principle of back pressure, okay. So the next point about this is, air is supplied at constant pressure through the orifice, and the air escapes in the form of the jet through the restricted space which exerts the back pressure, okay. As already I have told, so it works on the back pressure. Then the variation in the back pressure is then used to find out the dimensions of the components, okay. One specific range is given to you, that some this much of back pressure, if the measuring jets are if the measuring jets are putting some back pressure of this much amount, then you can stop your machining on that workpiece. So such readings or variations in the back pressure, you have to note those back pressure readings, so that we can compare this uh, the dimensions of the original product and the product that we have manufactured, okay. Then this is the diagram for the Solex comparator. Okay, what are the components? So first component is compressor. Okay, then comes the air filter, then comes the control orifice, then some flexible tubes or pipes you should uh, take into account, because the air will flow through these pipes. Okay, then over here you can see one water tank is there. Okay, and one manometer tube is installed from this water tank up to the, or in between the control orifice and the measuring jets. Okay, so why this manometric tube is employed here? So what is the purpose of this manometric tube is to find out this pressure head. Okay, so this is the total height of water in this watering or water tank. Over here you can see capital H. What is capital H? So it is height from this manometer inlet up to the height of the water. Okay, and one deep tube is placed inside this water tank. So what will happen? So the compressor, it will compress air, and the air will be supplied from this air filter. Okay, so after filtering the air, what will happen? We are supplying it to the complete assembly in this area. Okay, so what will happen? Air will come. Then over here you can see one control orifice is there. So what will happen? The air will try to move in this direction as well as in this direction as. Okay, so because of that, what will happen? Air passing through this deep tube, it will try to come out of this water. Okay, in the form of bubbles. Okay, so excess air bubbling to the top. Okay, so excess air will go up to the top of this water tank. Okay, and the manometer tube. Okay, so this manometer tube is again open, so remaining air, this excess air will come at the top of the water tank, and remaining air, what will happen? It will try to move in this fashion. Okay, so one part of air, it will move from this control orifice, and second part of air, it will move in this direction. Okay, so because of this control orifice, what will happen? So pressure of air over here will be different, and pressure of air over here will be different. Okay, and this difference in pressure is recorded, or that can be found with the help of this pressure head. Okay, we already know the formula of this pressure head. So we know P is equal to rho into G into H. Okay, so this H is nothing but this height. If we know the height of this or pressure head of pressure head in the manometric tube, then we can easily find out the pressure. Okay, so what is the formula? H is equal to P divided by, you will have to take rho into G. Okay, where P is the pressure, then rho is the density of the fluid inside this tank, and G is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so using this formula, we can find out how much is the pressure inside this flexible tube. Okay, then the pressure remains same up to the measuring jets. Okay, so the pressure over here is different, pressure in this flexible tube is different. Okay, and as the pressure or air comes out of this measuring the jets, what will happen? So air will try to move, or it will try to escape from this workpiece. Okay, so the air escapes outside. Okay, by these jets, or with the help of this you can see one clearance area is there. Okay, so from this clearance area, air will try to come out of this workpiece. Okay, and suppose pressure or pressure head H is equal to, let us consider 10 centimeter is the reading when we measure with the help of these jets, when we measure the workpiece, and that workpiece is standard workpiece. Okay, so for standard workpiece, if suppose the pressure head is 10 centimeters, okay, now the workpieces that we produce or that we manufacture on the shop floor, and for that particular dimension or for that standard dimension, another workpiece that we have manufactured and we have employed that workpiece over here. Okay, so for that workpiece that we have manufactured on the shop floor, if the pressure head shown is 10 centimeters, then we can pass that workpiece. Okay, if suppose pressure head is changing, let us consider 9 centimeter of pressure head is shown by this pneumatic comparator, or suppose instead of 9 greater than 10 centimeters, for example let us consider 11 centimeters of pressure head is shown by this Solex comparator over here. Okay, so if the pressure head is changing, then what is the meaning? So you have either uh, machine that workpiece excess, or you have to machine, or you have already uh, manufactured, or you have already machined that workpiece in excess. Okay, sometimes if suppose some dimensions are less, then what will happen, it will show the greater pressure. Okay, or sometimes if the dimensions are more than the standard workpiece, then it will show the lower pressures. Okay, so that's why using this Solex comparator we can find out, or we can compare the standard dimensions with the workpiece that we have produced. Okay, so this is the Solex comparator, that is one of the types of pneumatic comparators. Okay, so by using this or by using this measuring jets and the back pressure phenomenon, we can find out how much is the uh, or how much are the dimensions of the of the product that we have manufactured. Okay, now moving towards the advantages and disadvantages. So advantage is that it is uh, very high magnification we can obtain from this comparator. The next part is less friction. Okay, as there are no moving parts, so less friction will be there, no wear and tear will be there, and less inertia will be there. Okay, the next advantage of this is, so the less measuring pressure. Okay, so the manufacturing, sorry, measuring pressure, if less measuring pressure is there, then also it will give you the readings. Okay, and last advantage is it determines ovality and taperness of the circular bores. Okay, suppose a circular bore is manufactured, and consider if the bore is not exact in circle, okay, or the bore is having some oval shape. Okay, so using this pneumatic comparator we can find out if the bore that we have created in the workpiece, if it is circular or it is in oval shape. Okay, that we can easily find out. Okay, and then the taperness also we can easily find out if the workpiece is taper, or if the workpiece is uh, or we have, if we have drilled the workpiece in the straight fashion. Okay, taperness means like this. Okay, and straight hole will be like this. On the two edges of the hole, if they are intersecting at some point, okay, then we can say that the hole is taper. And if the two edges of the uh, hole are not intersecting, or in the simple language, if the two edges of the hole are parallel to each other, then we can say it is a straight hole. Okay, so using this Solex comparator, we can find out if the drilled hole is oval in shape, or if it is circular in shape, or it is sometimes elliptical shape is also there. Okay, so in order to find out the ovality and taperness, we can employ this Solex comparator. Now moving towards the disadvantages, the scale is generally not uniform. Okay, scale is not uniform. Then second disadvantage is it requires compressor and accurate pressure gauges. Okay, or accurate pressure regulators are required. Then it is not portable. Okay, it will be fixed at some place, and it is less sensitive. Okay, so these are some disadvantages of this Solex comparator, or you can say the disadvantages of the pneumatic comparators. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any doubts, you can tell me in the comments. Okay, so thank you very much.